Good morning, Year 5. Miss Lakha here. I hope you're well and ready for another week of fantastic learning. I'm here today with your English lesson for Monday, the 11th of January 2021. Today we're going to explore some more of our core text, The Breadwinner. And to begin, I want you to recap and look over your learning from last week. What have we learnt about the character of Pavana? What have we learnt about Afghanistan? Can you link any of your geography learning to describe the way of life in Afghanistan? So I know that last week you would have done some research into Afghanistan in your geography lesson. So can you link anything that you've learnt to what we've read in the text so far? So you can pause the video here and have a recap and refresh and have all these ideas in your mind, fresh and ready to go. So for today, there is a link on your pack and there is a link here. If you go onto that link, you will see some more of the story being read, and this is the chapter that we are going to need for our learning this week. So the chapter that's being read to you is what you're going to need. So again, if you pause the video, you can go and watch that chapter so you have all the information that you need ready for today's learning. So today we're going to be learning about relative clauses. So there is a BBC Bite-sized link there for you to go onto to just get some extra information if you are still a little bit unsure about relative clauses. But if you think back to before Christmas, when we were doing the lesson on adjectives, nouns, verbs, subordinate clauses, noun phrases, we looked at relative clauses too. So, what are they? Relative clauses are used to give additional information about a noun. And remember, a noun is a naming word. They are introduced by a relative pronoun like that, which, who, whose, where, and when. An example of a sentence using relative clauses would be, the market, which was shrouded in a dusty haze, was a very busy place. If we took out that relative clause, the sentence would be, the market was a very busy place. And that makes sense on its own. However, we wanted to add in extra information about the market. So instead of having an extra sentence and making our writing really long, we can use relative clauses and add in that extra information into the sentence. So, as you can see, I've highlighted in red, the relative pronoun is the pronoun you would use to start your sentence, to start your relative clause. And I've chosen to use the one which. And then you add in your extra information. So the market, which was shrouded in a dusty haze, was a very busy place. And I've used commas around that piece of the sentence because that is our relative clause. And like I said at the start, if we take that out, the sentence still makes sense on its own. And if we put it in, it's giving us extra information about the market. So, I'd like you to think back to the lessons from last week where we explored the character of Pavana. So where you did the roll on the wall, where you wrote a character description, and where you looked at Pavana's physical appearance and her personality traits. I would like you to use the following questions to help give you ideas about what you're going to cover because you're going to write a character description about Pavana today. And I would like you to use relative clauses and relative pronouns in your writing. So I've written questions in red there. What does Pavana look like? How does she dress? What are her physical features? What does she sound like? How does she portray herself? And what is her personality like? So I would like you to use these as starting points to think about how you can describe the character of Pavana. And today you're going to produce a piece of writing, a character description describing her. And I would really love for you to use the relative clauses in your writing. And I would really love for you to use all of the other devices and techniques that you've learned in English up until this point. If you have your writing ready to share with us in the Zoom, that would be great. And I can ask some people to read out what they've written and the aim of you writing out your character description is so that you can get a very good idea in the reader's head of Pavana, what she's like, and what her personality is like. So your description has to be explicit, and it has to answer all of those questions, so that whoever reads your description, and when you read it out, they will create an image in their head of what Pavana is like.